What's the best joke you know? I was in the office today and the cleaning lady asked if I wanted to smoke weed with her after work. I turned her down. I don't really like high maintenance women. What does a robot do during a one night stand? He nuts and bolts. What did the sign on the door of the brothel say? Beat it. We are closed. Apostrophe. There's an adult video store in Phoenix I used to drive by and they had a slogan painted on the wall facing the street. Come inside out of the heat. Pure class. And actually pretty witty. I saw a sign on a pawn shop that said, Vini vidi vini. Dad, the trashman's here, tell him we don't need any. From all the others this is what made me laugh. There's a man at the door with a wooden leg. Tell him I've already got one. Apostrophe. I mixed up the words jacuzzi and yakuza and now I'm in hot water with the Japanese Mayfair. How is 69 and being in the Mayfair alike? One slip of the tongue and you are in deep S. A man goes to a funeral. He asks the widow if he could say a word. He goes to the front and says plethora and sits back down. The widow leans over and whispers thanks. That means a lot. Apostrophe. Another man approaches. He had been a close companion of the deceased. He too asks the widow if he might speak and heads to the front. Bargain, he says. The widow pats his arm. That means a great deal. Two nuns were sitting on a park bench when a naked man runs by. One of the nuns had a stroke. The other couldn't reach. Two nuns are driving down a dark road at night when a vampire jumps out of the bushes onto the hood of their car. One nun says to the other, "Quick, Sister Mary, show him your cross." So Sister Mary leans out the window and yells, "Get off the car, you effing a-hole." I walked into the pharmacy and asked for some deodorant, the ball kind. Just 4 under the arms is fine. Best told ball or aerosol with a heavy accent so that aerosol sounds like arsehole, and the reply neither. I want it for my armpits. Not the 9 o'clock news did this with Rowan Atkinson, famous for playing Mr. Bean, acting the part of the Swedish drugstore chemist. One day 3 people were stuck on an island with cannibals. The cannibals said, "If you do what we say, we won't kill you." So the 3 people followed the orders the cannibals. So the cannibals said, "Go into the forest and pick 10 fruits of the first fruit you see." So the first person came back out of the forest with 10 apples. The cannibals said, "Put the apples up here," without making a facial expression. The person then made a facial expression after the second apple. So the cannibals killed him. The second person came back out of the forest with 10 cherries. The cannibals said, "Put the cherries up here," without making a facial expression. The person then started laughing on the 10th cherry. So they killed him. In heaven, the person with apples asked the person with cherries, "Why did you start laughing?" The person replied, "I saw the third person come out with pineapples. This reminded me of this one. What's the definition of trust? To cannibals giving each other blowjobs." A man sat down at a bar and told the bartender, "I bet you $300 that I can pee into the cup all the way over there on the other side of the bar and not miss a single drop." The bartender said, "There is no way you can do that." "Sure, I'll bet you $300. The man then begins to undo his pants and begins peeing. He starts peeing all over the bar, spraying on the bottles and the bartender, not making a single drop in the cup. The bartender starts smiling and laughing and says, "That's it. You owe me $300. The man then gets up and walks over to the pool table and starts laughing and shaking hands with the men standing there. He walks back to bar, sits down and starts laughing at the bartender and hands him the money. The bartender asks, "Why are you laughing? You just lost the bet." The man said, "I'm laughing because I bet those guys over there $1,000 that I could pee all over you and your bar and you would still be laughing when I was done." Apostrophe. I've heard this one, but with a lawyer and eyes inspector, or a woman and a bank director. What's the difference between a slob on a bicycle and a well-dressed individual on a unicycle? Attire. Stalin is sitting at his desk busy with paperwork when his assistant bursts into the room and says, "Comrade Stalin, there is a clairvoyant here that wants to see you. He claims he can see the future. Send him to get access, Stalin. If he could see the future he wouldn't have come here." The divorce court judge says to Mickey, now let me get this straight, Mr. Mouse. You want a divorce from your wife Minnie because she's crazy? And Mickey says no. I never said she was crazy. I said she was effing goofy. If you can do a good Mickey impression, it really sells this one. Haha. Two guys are walking down the street when they see a dog licking his balls. One guy says, I wish I could do that. The other replies, well, maybe just try petting him first. Was posting in a general chat sub on a baseball message board. Someone posts an article saying oral sex has been linked to throat cancer. One of the guys replies, well, there goes my Father's Day gift idea, to which I replied, I'm sure he would have appreciated it. Maybe just get him a tie instead. I didn't get what was that guy's gift idea. He was insinuating that he would have told his wife that's what he wanted. It was a really douchy comment I was happy to blow up. A proctologist walks into a bank. He needs to sign a document. He tries to sign, but he pulls a thermometer out of his shirt pocket. Oh shit. Some asshole has my pen. Jimmy Care. An English job foreman is hiring, and an Irishman soon appears requesting a job. Laughing. The foreman responds, you? Hire you? I doubt you know the difference between a girder and a joist. After a moment of pondering, the Irishman responds, well, one fellow rode Faust, and the other wrote Ulysses, and my favorite, when it's okay to go off color. Mother Superior is sitting in the convent one night when she hears a knock at the door. She looks out the peephole, and, seeing no one, very cautiously opens the door. She's stunned to find two leprechauns standing meekly, hats in hand, on the steps of the nunnery. My sons. How can I help you this fine evening? Well, mother, have you any leprechaun nuns in this convent? I'm sorry, my son. We've no leprechaun nuns here. Well, mother, do you know of any leprechaun nuns anywhere? No, my son. I don't know of any in all Ireland. And if there's none here, then there can't be any leprechaun nuns in the whole church. At this, the first leprechaun whips around, jabbing his finger at his companion. I told you been fucking a penguin. I had a song stuck in my head the other day and kept singing it out loud. My wife finally broke down and screamed, will you please stop singing Wonderwall? I said, maybe. I hear you, dude. I was humming the chorus to I'm a Believer around the house the other day when my wife suddenly screamed at me to knock it off. This was really out character for her, so I just assumed she was joking. Then I saw her face. I was telling my wife that I met the band Rem once, but she didn't believe me. I pulled out my phone to show her the picture. See? That's Mike Mills. There's Peter Buck and Michael Stipe. And that's me in the corner. Wait. I've got one more. Tonight's top story. Country western legend Willie Nelson is in the hospital recovering from injuries sustained when he was hit by a car during a performance. Authorities say he shouldn't have been playing on the road again. I'm right there with you. I felt so bad about getting Bare Naked Ladies songs stuck in people's heads that I decided to bring it up at confession. The priest asked me how long since my last confession. It's been. Doc, you gotta help me. I can't stop singing What's New Pussycat. That sounds like Tom Jones syndrome. Is it common? It's not unusual. Apostrophe. Are you new in town by any chance? A penguin is on a long deserved vacation from the zoo. He decides to take a road trip out west, where his car breaks down. Luckily, it's right in front of a mechanic in town. He drops the car off and tells the mechanic he's going to get some lunch. It's a really hot day, so after eating he stops by the ice cream shop for a little treat. Walking back to his car, the mechanic tells the penguin it looks like you blew a seal. The penguin laughs. Oh, no, he said, as he wiped his mouth, it's just ice cream. Apostrophe. Mechanic. Come again. Penguin. I told you. It's only ice cream. What do you call a dog with steel balls and no hind legs? Sparky. What do you call a dog with no legs? It doesn't matter, he won't come anyway. I thought it was cigarette every night you take him out for a drag. I went to the zoo and saw a baguette in a cage. I asked the zookeeper about it, and he told me it was bred in captivity. If I was a zookeeper, I would do that when there was no animals in a specific exhibit. People are shocked when they find out what a terrible electrician I am. Haha, this tickled me. Why did the blind man fall into the well? He couldn't see that well. Reminds me of, have you heard the story of the 3 wells? No? Well. This guy sees a sign, talking dog $5 he walks up and asks the man, does this dog really talk? Owner, yep, bullshit dog, it's true. I can talk. Man, holy shit. Dog, yeah. I started out in the circus as a sideshow until the CIA found me. They recruited me as a spy. No one suspects the dog in the room is listening to state secrets. After 2 tours, I retired here in the country to live out my days. Man, my god, man. That is the most astounding thing I have ever heard. So, why the hell are you only selling him for $5? Owner, because that dog is a liar. He didn't do any of that shit. A Labrador deceiver. 3 men went to hell, and they stood before the devil. The devil asked the first man, what did you do for a living? The man answered, I was a lumberjack. The devil said, then we will chop your pee off. He turned to the second man, asking the same question he asked the first. I was a fireman, said the second man. Then we will burn your pee off, said the devil. He turned to the third man, asking the same question he asked the other 2. The third man thought about it and finally answered the devil. I was a lollipop salesman. Apostrophe.